California is weighing a proposed initiative to impose a one-time 5% tax on the net worth of California residents with assets exceeding $1 billion. Although the proposal does not yet qualify for the November 2026 ballot, its push is motivating billionaires to flee the state. Google co-founder Larry Page and Oracle founder Larry Ellison have become some of the latest high-profile Californians to flee, and many are sounding the alarm that a mass migration of billionaire business leaders out of the state is only going to speed up. Congresswoman Young Kim of California is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and joins us. So how can this proposal impact California? Because I believe that the people who are pushing this had said that it was going to be retroactive to the beginning of the year. But the legal pushback is, wait a second, you can't do that if people decide that they're going to move right away.
First of all, thank you, EDL, for having me. I hope the more we talk about how crazy this 5% billionaire tax is, the more people we can convince people not to sign on to that ballot initiative so that it doesn't qualify. First of all, I know it is a long way to go, but we need to make sure that we stop it before it gets out of hand. And we are already seeing the highest, ripple effect. We already saw, as you mentioned, the Tesla, Uber founders, venture capitalists that are already fleeing the state because of the high taxes that we already have. And also we have tech companies that are also moving out of state. We are losing many of our high-paying jobs, capital investments, and there goes opportunities for many of the workers who depend on these paychecks to Florida and Texas, for example. We have a shopping spree problem. So adding more to the credit card and increasing the credit card limit is not going to solve anything. So I think we really need to stop this. California, again, when these entrepreneurs move out of the state, taking their jobs to other states, it's not just the wealth that they're taking. As I mentioned, it's the capital that we're losing. It's the high-paying jobs that we're, losing. California used to be the golden state of opportunities and innovation. They are taking all of these opportunities and innovation away from the state of California, and it's now becoming the capital of exit plan. Well, is that going to be the future that we're going to see?
Yeah, I remember when you would look to California, when California did something, the assumption was it's going to start rippling across the country. They came up with innovative ideas. But the ripple now is this, we don't have enough money, we're going to tax somebody, in a new creative way. Just above you, Washington State, I believe that the House has already passed a millionaire's tax, and that would actually, with a marriage penalty attached to it, so that it's not just a millionaire, it's a couple who's married. If each makes $500, that counts as it as well. The governor is against that. Governor Newsom says he's against this California tax. He says it doesn't make sense. Here's a bit more from what the governor has said about it, and I'll get your reaction.
I fear the way this has been drafted. And I'm old-fashioned. I actually seek first to understand before I'm understood. Sometimes. And I was burdened by the facts. The fact is, it actually will reduce investments in education. It will reduce investments in teachers and librarians, childcare. It will reduce investments in firefighting and police. The impact of a one-time tax does not solve an ongoing structural challenge.
What do you think about what the governor is now saying about increasing taxes?
Wow. We don't need costly mandates or increase in the billionaire tax, who are actually the ones who are actually paying and carrying the heavy weight of paying for a lot of states' services. So this is not the time to penalize the hardworking entrepreneurs who are creating jobs and, increasing the opportunities in the state of California. Look, Governor Newsom is probably the king of fraud, and he's using California as his kingdom, unfortunately. And every day I wake up, there is new fraud that I see in the news. For example, his wife is paying herself and her organization, that is so-called the gender activism nonprofit organization. She has paid herself about $3.7 million from the organization that she founded for these crazy programs that she's funding. And what's crazy is that Governor Newsom has personally funneled almost $4 million that is politically connected donations to her organization. And much of that has been paid to herself and her salary and the organization.
Well,
if this is not the fraud at its highest scale, I don't know what it is, which is why I am so glad that President Trump has officially established the anti-fraud task force. And I have a legislation, No More Scams Act, to codify this type of task force so that we can put fraud to bed once and for all.
Representative Kim, thank you very much. And I'm sure it'll get much more attention because Gavin Newsom can't run your state much longer. Instead, I think he aims to run the country. So we'll see where that goes. Thank you. Coming up, Border Chief Greg Bovino is calling it a career. What